Chris and Rob, looking at this category for Best Supporting Drama Actor, you both agree that of these 6 contenders, 2 have no chance at all to win, and any one of the other 4 are really in this race, right, Rob?
Yeah, that's absolutely correct, Tom. I think we can safely say that John Slattery and Martin Short are both out of the race, even though I'm a big fan of both of them. When you watch their episodes, they just don't really hold much interest or impact or even range to really warrant winning the trophy. So the top 4 that we have are the 2 guys from Lost, Emerson and O'Quinn, plus Paul from Breaking Bad and Andre Braugher from Men of a Certain Age. And those 4 performances, you could really just kind of toss them around and just put your finger on one of them and that might win. That's how close it is. And I'm really finding it very difficult to make a call. And I have eventually decided that based on buzz and all that stuff, and then based on the actual scenes that I watched, Terry O'Quinn seems to hold a lot of interest, and he's very powerful. He plays dual roles in this in this show. He plays the villain, and then he plays the destitute old disabled guy, and he's very, very good. And he's a past winner, and I know that Chris is going to talk about that in a sec, but I just have a feeling that he might be in front.
But wait a second, Chris, you rank O'Quinn in 4th place. Am I correct here? And I think that just applying what we all know about the Emmys and that they're suckers for multiple personality roles. That's how Toni Collette won last year and may win again this year on the comedy side. If he's got dual roles, why do you put him down at number 4, especially considering he's a past winner? Defend yourself.
He's really good. He's really good. If I were personally voting, because I'm such a big fan of Lost, I think he gave the best performance over the course of the season. I would probably vote for him in this category if I had a vote. I think of the 2 from Lost, just their episodes alone, I probably would go with Michael Emerson. That's why I put him in 3rd, because he's got a really emotional scene towards the end where he honestly doesn't know whether to be a bad guy or a good guy. Okay. He doesn't know which side to even follow, and he says nobody will even have me, and then makes a good choice actually there toward the end. So that's why I put him in 3rd. The only problem I've got with these 2 guys, because I love statistics, I love Emmy history. This category has had 14 different men in a row win, and O'Quinn and Emerson are 2 of those. Okay. And so until somebody breaks that streak, I don't see how I can pick one of them. I think it's going to be somebody new just to carry on that tradition.
But I think, Chris, we know that the people who win Emmys win based on episode submissions and things like that. These patterns that in categories like that you just mentioned, I think are important factors at awards that have a popular-based vote, for example. I don't think they apply to the Emmys. My advice to you is, in this category, if you really do think one of these Lost guys is ahead, I wouldn't be swayed by that logic. But let's switch to the person you do say is going to win. You're going with Andre Braugher, right?
Well, I mean, let me back up and say, I know voters don't look at statistics, but look, I'm a big sports fan. I host a local sports show here. Right. Statistics work. They really do. Look at at the Oscars. The voters don't know about that stupid film editing category and the fact that you've got to be nominated there to win Best Picture, but it always seems to work.
And that's a popular-based vote, though, Chris. I'm sorry, there's some sunlight I'm dodging here in our chat. But that's a popular-based vote, and yes, those things do apply in that case, but I'm not sure that they apply here. But anyway, sorry.
Anyway, Andre Braugher. I thought he gave a really good performance here. He's won 2 Emmys before. He's been nominated a few other times. It's one of those performances. I've never even watched the show before. That's how new I was to this show until I watched his episode. And it's a performance that kind of sneaks up on you. He's so winning in it. And he's a car salesman who works for his father. Never seems to get the approval from his father that he wants. And he's got a big problem at his house. There's some things going on unethically. He didn't know with his contractor, and he has to go down and face the government, which is our biggest fear of all of us. And, of course, he's getting the runaround. He's got to go through all the red tape. And somebody tells him, look, you're a salesman. Sell yourself to this guy in the governmental office. And he does, and he walks out on the front steps and he stands up and cheers like Rocky at the end of Rocky. And I just thought, that's a winning moment right there. The voters are going to love that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good defense. But
That's
Aaron
right.
Paul is the one. Go ahead, Rob.
No, I was just going to say, Andre Braugher, Chris is right. He's very winning in that performance, but just the other side of the coin is the show, and maybe even the performance is so boring and depressing that I found it very hard to sit through it. And God help us if a show from USA wins supporting actress and a show from TNT wins supporting actor. With all the great drama series out there, I don't know what there'll be riots on the street. That's just a horrible thing to even consider. But so that's why Andre Braugher is number 3 for me. And Tom, I know you're about to mention Aaron Paul.
Right, he's the one that everybody said. Let me interject and let me just give a little perspective here. And that is every year we say Aaron Paul's going to win it. He's the hot kid on the block in the show Breaking Bad that keeps winning Best Lead Actor for Bryan Cranston. Why can't this guy win? And why don't you say he's going to win now?
That's a great question because last year I've said very clearly that he is can't lose. He's going to win. He had this episode that was so brilliant. He was so perfect. It was just a perfect submission. He had everything that you need to have to win, and he still lost. Probably because Michael Emerson had more impact for voters or whatever it was. But this year, his submission is not as good as that one. So it doesn't hold as much tension and range and impact as the last one. Although that being said, it's still very, very good, and he is such a wonderful actor. But I just couldn't put him in top place because if he can't win for the best submission that I've ever seen, then I can't imagine how he's going to win for this one, which isn't as good. That's my logic.
Well, that's happened before, though. I've seen that happen quite a few times where I've made that same jump about somebody going, well, if they couldn't win last year, there's no way they could win this year. So I do have him in second place. It is good. I don't watch Breaking Bad regularly, so I didn't know to compare it to something else he could have submitted this year. He's very mesmerizing in it. He's got of all the people in this category, he has got the single biggest problems going on. Some of these other problems, like, fighting the electric company, over your power bill, look very pale in comparison to the problems that Aaron Paul has going on in his episode. I don't think the other thing that made me kind of go for Andre Braugher over Aaron Paul, because it was kind of a tie, this category, they don't seem to like younger actors very much in it. I mean, look at everybody that's won the past, 10 or 15 years. They've all been in their, mid to late 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s. Somebody in their 20s like Aaron Paul, I just didn't know if they were going to take that leap with him.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Yeah. And Bryan Cranston also, I think he overshadows Aaron Paul a little, especially in the final scene. Bryan Cranston is just absolutely stunning, and I was more drawn to him than I was to Aaron Paul, and that's coming from someone who thinks Aaron Paul is absolutely brilliant. So there's a few factors there that give you some pause when wanting to predict Aaron. I really hope he wins. If he wins, I'll be shouting. I'll be so happy for him. In fact, I'll be happy if any of these 6 guys win, but only because I think they're all really good. But given the episodes we've watched, I still keep going back to Terry O'Quinn. So
interesting. So basically, again, we don't know who's going to win here. There's no, there usually is at the Emmys one breakout episode, like Emerson's last year, that you just say that's the likely front runner. We don't have that this year in many of these categories.
No.
There are a few like that, but this one, boy, good luck. You might as well just draw a name out of a hat in some ways on this one.
Okay, so we'll cut you both slack if one of the top 4 you name win, but if John Slattery or Martin Short win, then you're just crazy.
We don't know what we're talking about anymore. We're totally done.
I give up.
Okay.